Anthony Richardson is a top 3 Heisman candidate in the country.
That's without question. That's without question. He is. And yes, you have to have wins like this to get into that discussion. Let's go back. Anthony Richardson was brought out of the bullpen for most of the season last year behind Emory Jones at Florida. And the wheels were starting to come off. They were trying to find themselves up front. Florida could not stand and trade blows with Samford, not the Pac-12 team with no T in it. I'm talking Sam, like Jackson Ford. Samford had 40-plus points on Florida in the first half. The culture gave out. The wheels gave out. But you still somehow in the rubble have this bright, shining like behemoth coming through it. So they make their necessary changes. New staff. Emory Jones finds a new home. Richardson, you're the man now. All that stuff is great. Wait, who do we see first game? A biker gang. Here comes 120 bikers into Gainesville. How well does that work for small towns usually? When 120 bikers roll in there, rugged, tested, you know what I mean? Don't give a shit. They're going to trash this place somehow, some way, unless somebody's going to just tee up with them. That was Richardson. Didn't run a whole lot of RPOs last night. I was really curious to see what Napier was going to do. Felder, they didn't do all this design quarterback run. Go back, take a couple steps, and then charge down the open gap. They didn't see that. He stayed and made most of his money in between guards and tackles. When he did make those big plays, they were designed pass plays that he was poised enough, had enough time. I'm not going to throw dice down the field. If it's open, I'll take it. If it's not, I'll run it. But the runs just happen to be these 40, 50-yard jaunts in the park. They stayed toe-to-toe with this team, traded blows, which is difficult, and won at the end. No trickery, no double reverse, no faulty deal like Florida State LSU, just hard fought. And yes, 15, I think he was going to emerge that way anyway, but damn, it's awfully early. But yes, if we're going early or late or overreaction, underreaction, yes, Anthony Richardson will be sitting in New York in December.
I think that right now he's a top 3 Heisman guy. I don't know if that persists over the course of the season. But I think that right coming out of week 1, I 100% agree.
Who else would out? So that means you got to give me 3 other guys who would go beyond.
I have no idea. Braylon Allen from Wisconsin.
Well, I'll give you 3 right now, George, because
wait. We gotta give. He gonna have to put, like my math teachers used to tell me when I was a kid. You got to show your work. You got to show your work on that one.
Sure. I'm listen, because let's not pretend like that. I'm not sitting here saying that Anthony Richardson is I'm not sitting here saying Braylon Allen is a better player than Anthony Richardson. What I'm sitting here saying is we're talking about him being in New York City. So when I look at Wisconsin, this is a team that play Ohio State, and then nobody, maybe Michigan State might stop him. That's it. Wisconsin's going to be a 10-win team at the end of the year. I don't know if the same is going to be said for Florida. So if Florida's an 8,
but will it need to be? Florida will come up against more monsters.
Who is the last quarterback that won a Heisman Trophy without winning double-digit games? I know the answer. Do you?
Tim Tebow.
No.
He had 4 losses.
When he won the Heisman?
Yeah.
No, not in his Heisman year. He didn't have 4 losses.
Or a minimum of 3. They took some L's. They won the national championship and he won the Heisman. They had multiple losses.
Tim Tebow. Okay, let me. I'm looking at because it's RG3 is the answer that I have.
But here's the thing, RG3, you got to have a big on-Broadway primetime win.
You're right, 2007. You're right.
At or around Thanksgiving. Yeah, but you got to have something big nationally at or around Thanksgiving. Carson Palmer won the Heisman Trophy just on a monster Thanksgiving game. Like, it almost doesn't need the whole season's worth of body of work. It does help that he beat this big team right here, but Does he have to run the table inside Jurassic Park? No, he doesn't have to run the table. He merely needs to keep Florida competitive.
You're right. 9-4. They were 9-4.
There you
and
go.
RG3, they were, but they were what? They were 8-4. RG3 won it when they went 9-3. This is what, 2 years later?
Yeah.
2009, 2010, he won that. So RG3 is the most recent one, and then you throw in Tim Tebow after that. Yes, so you're right. So if he does that, then that's the way he wins. But we've also seen a shift in the last decade of what the Heisman looks like. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. But I'm just simply saying, if you see dynamics, and remember, the Heisman is a combination of electricity and capturing imagination and being on Broadway. It isn't just about finding a nice tailback who can plug and get 1,500 yards.
No, it's about picking the quarterback. It's the best quarterback on the best team.
Well, but sometimes it goes beyond quarterback. Like, to me, if he's healthy, Smith and Jigba, electric. He's on Broadway, big game changer. Like, Ohio State's got like 3 kids that can be in that role. Alabama, Will Anderson, electric, on Broadway, national TV. Like, yes, it tends to go quarterbacks.
If Will Anderson can't get invited to New York City last year, he'll never get invited to New York City.
Well, I think it'll change this year. And I think they had a hard time trying to put 2 defenders in there last year. But
no, here's the point that I'm making. I like Anthony Richardson. He's still growing as a quarterback. You look at what we're talking about from a passing standpoint. Again, and I said this at the top of the show, Billy Napier built the perfect sandbox for this team, right? They had a great time in there. They were bigger than Utah. They leaned on them. We watched them lean on Utah. I still don't know what they're going to do defensively at Florida because Utah moved the ball consistently. 100-yard rusher. Cam Rising had 91 rushing yards. That includes the sacks. So we had over 100 rushing yards if you take the sacks out. And then he also was the leading passer in the game. Richardson didn't throw the ball. Anthony Richardson didn't throw the ball more than 12 yards at a pop, right?
But you're going to the point. He's economical. He's running a system.
That's what I
said. It wasn't, he
built
it wasn't about a sandbox. No. It's not about a sandbox. It's about flying a plane. It's about running a machine. If his numbers were 50%, and every now and then somebody got past the defense and he's like, "Oh, I just meet you in the end zone," bombed it, we wouldn't be giving him the complexities. We wouldn't give him the complexities and the intricacies of what it is to run a system. I actually liked what I saw. Here's the other piece.
I like it. I like it too. I like it too. I like what I saw. But
I'm saying, if you were the defensive coordinator, would you like him enough? Would he be like, how many quarterbacks in college football, if you're a big time defensive coordinator, scare you more than Anthony Richardson?
He scares me.
Not real.
He scares me because of what he can do with his legs.
It don't even matter. Him on the field, legs, arm, eyes, tattoo.
No, but let's be real. We
overall vibe, like whatever.
We all watched the game. We all watched the game. Utah, we saw guys make business decisions when it came to trying to tackle him.
Say it twice. Business. Who would fear you more if you're a defensive coordinator? And my defense is going to have to go up against this man for 4 quarters. Who fears you more right now?
So George, let me ask you this, George. I don't mean to cut you guys off, but I want to flip that on you because I spent some time with you in the offseason. You told me from seeing guys in person how special 3 quarterbacks in specific were. And they were the 3 Heisman betting favorites, right? It was Bryce Young, it was CJ Stroud, it was Caleb Williams. So what has changed 1 week in for Anthony Richards to now enter that conversation?
If you go back to that conversation, Greg, check your notes. And in the fine notes, I ask you to put in red, in caps. I simply told you the East Coast version of Caleb Williams resides in Gainesville and wears 15. In Anthony Richardson. Now, the difference between those 3 and Anthony Richardson, they've played more.
Yes.
The other 2 started from game 1 out. And Caleb Williams came out of the bullpen, and Anthony Richardson made a lot of cameos last year. He didn't start last year, but he made enough cameos, he made enough impact, and he made so much noise. Like, for those of us who can kind of put our ear on the train track and kind of understand what those vibes were, ooh, something's coming. Something's coming. And this ain't like the normal train. It is a locomotive coming out of Gainesville. If you just understood the vibrations coming out of those tracks, is something's totally different. He just needs time, reps, and he needs a chance to start the season, Felder, as the tip of the spear, as opposed to them saying, "Hey, oh, you're up. Come on.
No,
I don't have a voice. I can't move and operate like the alpha. Felder's the alpha. I'm just here to back him up and support him. It's my turn. I'll go in. Now he's the starter. Total different deal, and you're getting a chance to watch him move, operate, and live like a starter.
So I dig it. I dig it. I listen. I was super impressed with Florida. I'm sticking to my sandbox analogy because I do think
what does that mean when you say sandbox? What's that mean?
It means I think he put them in the perfect situation to be successful. He didn't
but
ask
isn't
him
that the charge of all coaches?
It is the charge of all coaches, but all coaches aren't good at it. And what I'm saying is Billy Napier did a really good job. He didn't ask him to push the ball vertically down the field. He didn't ask him to challenge Utah down the field. He didn't ask him to do a ton of reads. He asked him for gives, and he asked him for quarterback runs, and then he asked him to scramble when they had a chance.
Felder, I would match that up against it. So asking somebody to do something can affect your play calling.
Yes.
What are they capable of doing? But the other part of that coin is, what is the defense also doing? Utah played a lot of that with two deep safeties. You're not throwing a ton of deep shots with two deep safeties.
They also played a lot of hugged up man.
They did play some hugged up man, but there was a fear, and you could see it. We're not going to get beat deep. And we are going to give you a little bit of room, and we will rally up and make the tackle as opposed to getting toasted behind. So you could, and again, it's in the beholder. You saw it as Napier was more conservative and kind of played to some strengths and some high percentages. I looked at it as, look, that's just what the game plan called for. Utah, we're down here. We got all these kids down here. The 30th fastest kid at Florida is the second fastest kid at Utah.
Agreed.
Like, ain't no way we're going to get
let's look at this. I mean, realistically, the size of these teams was so – I didn't realize it was going to be so disparate, the size of these teams.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When they once the first drive, and I looked at the first drive, and I was like, oh, Utah is very small compared to, what is it, Richard Gorage or whatever it is? I was like, oh, they're very small.
Hey, you don't. You, as George would say with the biker gang, you don't see too many 6'4", 6'5", 290-pound men on bikes, right, George? I mean, they got to have a little mobility, you know. All right, let's put a bow on the Anthony Richardson segment here with just a quick hitter answer to this question for me. I want this from both you guys. Let's take Felder's hypothetical. Let's say Braylon Allen is in the Heisman running at the end of the year in the podium, right? And then there's three quarterbacks alongside him. And you got to choose three between Anthony Richardson and between the other three I mentioned, Young, Stroud, Williams. Who gets cut from that group? Who doesn't make it to New York?
Make it to New York?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm cutting Richardson.
That would be my answer too, for the record.
Listen. So here's
you have to cut one. You have to cut one.
Here's what I learned.
You're cutting Braylon Allen, and all four of them are going. I know the answer.
Braylon Allen got in this conversation.
Braylon Allen's there. They're not gonna give all four quarterbacks. There's always a running back. There's always somebody in a defensive spot.
Somebody on the After Dark Field of 12 show has some nice connections / family ties to the Allens, and all due respect, right? All due respect. A fine young man. Braylon Allen is not going to the Heisman if these four quarterbacks are all making a charge to the playoffs, and that's just the deal. Now let's go. That's just
do you think it's a charge to the playoff?
I think Anthony Richardson and the Gators, if that's how they put their feet on the ground in the morning to start the season, is to run a biker gang that came up into your town and you run them up out of there like that. And you got a new head coach, some new teammates, and everything is brand new. They're still meeting each other. What's your great catch? What's your name again? Great catch. Hey, let's wrap. Like they just met.
Okay.
And they're getting all this stuff done. So now watch me now, Felder. Watch me. I learned this as a youngster at game day. Heisman is dictated. How many chairs they have is when the drop-off is drastic.
Yes, the amount of votes. Yes.
Correct. It ain't going to be drastic with those 4. Those 4 will be there.
I think there's going to be an addition type year.
If there's going to be an addition, it'll be someone like a Will Allen, a Will Anderson, or maybe a Smith and Jigba or something like that at Ohio State. But those 4 quarterbacks, oh no, they will be there. Now, this is why Stroud is going to do his thing in the Big Ten.
Sure.
Bryce Young is going to do his thing in Jurassic Park. And for those of you rolling, that's the SEC, called Jurassic Park. And Caleb will have a nice opportunity out west. He'll see Notre Dame. He'll see Utah. They won't see Utah. They'll see Oregon. They'll see Notre Dame. They'll have enough. He'll have enough primetime games. And there'll be so much pizzazz, pomp, and circumstance against the Trojans. People are pulling for the Trojans in like a disproportionate way. Okay. They'll be there. And then Anthony Richardson, he will do things. He's going to get a 90-yard run on somebody he shouldn't. He's going to throw 400 yards against somebody he shouldn't. He's going to throw 6 touchdown passes against somebody he shouldn't. He's just going to do that thing. People didn't pay attention to Cam Newton until Auburn was 7 or 8-0. When he went at LSU and was the leading rusher and passer in the game, and he's doing all this stuff against all 11 from LSU defense, winds up going in the first round in the next 2 years. He's going to be there. So all respect to Madison, Wisconsin, great bar scene, and the nice, neat running back room they got up there. All respect. But unless we're just going to put 9 chairs in the Heisman, this is the wrong year to be a nice, neat running back in the Big Ten who's not actually from the east side of the league. This ain't going to be that. Not George, this year.
I got to give you credit, George. I had no idea you had a history in gymnastics, because your ability to dodge, to jump, to maneuver around that pointed question of dropping a quarterback, impeccable, my friend. That's why you're the best of the biz.
What's going on, guys? Rob Doster here, the founder of the Field of 68 and the Field of 12 Media Networks. I wanted to take a quick minute to let you guys know about an exciting new project that we have been working on for the last 3 months. The Almanac, an all-encompassing preview of the 2022-23 college basketball season. We spoke with every single Division I head coach to give you a robust and accurate preview for all 363 Division I college basketball teams. We have predictions for conference finishes for all 32 leagues. We have features on the best freshmen, the best big men, the breakout stars, the coaches on the hot seat, so much more. It is 600,000 words of sheer happiness for the college basketball fan in your life. The Almanac is going to be available for digital purchase on September 26th for just $19.99, but you can pre-order it today using the promo code HOOPS and save 20%. Just hit the link in the description below.